There's a huge thing happening on the planet right now, and we call it the Great Confluence, but there's three mega trends that are happening right now, and they're one direction, they're giant, and they're sweeping the planet, and we're part of them. But since we got involved so early, we forget that, oh yeah, this is a trend and it's still going. So the first one we already talked about. I've had plenty of food and clothing, appliances, vacations, cars. I've got kids in college. I just took a vacation. So we've had consumption in my family for a couple of generations. Well, most of the world's just now getting to that stage. Now, the second thing that is sweeping the planet is, well, it looks like this. It's a smartphone, which I first got 8 years ago or 9 years ago, right before I started EMQQ. I got a smartphone maybe 2 years, maybe 10 years ago, I got my first iPhone. And when I got it, I could already see how it was changing my family's consumption. And the trips to the Target store were going down. And I knew the UPS drivers by their first name. And if you think about how that's happened with our lives, well, the reality is I had a computer for 20 years before I got a smartphone. So the rest of the world, all those new consumers are not just becoming consumers, they're getting online, they're getting their first ever computer. It's not on their desk in the traditional sense, and it doesn't have an Apple logo. The $50, $60, $80 brand new Android-based smartphone is bringing the computer to the world for the first time at an incredible clip. 7 million people a month in India alone are getting their first computer/smartphone, and it's bringing with it the third mega trend, which I got first in 1995 on a telephone line with a modem in the Marina District of San Francisco. So I've been on the line. I mean, it's obviously gotten better and faster and easier. And now it just shows up in your pocket, even on an airplane if you want. So the reality is most of the world never got wired. So you got these billions of people getting computerized, getting online, and very importantly, emerging markets don't have the consumption infrastructure we think of. And those things include, first and foremost, they don't have a bank account and with a debit card. They don't have a cable TV with 1,000 channels, and they probably don't have a Target store, and they almost certainly don't have a car to drive to the Target store. So these people are leapfrogging traditional consumption, and this is the result. This is showing you the revenue for the EMQQ companies as 135 publicly traded emerging market internet companies, and you can see their growth rate for the last decade has averaged almost 40% a year. Now, I'm not positive of anything in the world, but I've asked everybody I know who's smarter than me and more experienced than me if they know any sector that might have grown at 38% a year for 10 years in a row, or 10 years on average. And I've given this talk to dozens and hundreds of professional investor groups. And I now offer a $100,000 reward to anybody that can show me a sector that grew at 38% a year for a decade. That's not easy to do. I could be wrong, but so far my inbox is empty. So either way, this is the result. I think an unprecedented story of growth as those billions of people go online for the first time and leapfrog traditional consumption models. And what comes with that? Value creation.